I don't know what they're
So
sticking up for him. So
our previous guest, Professor Hamamoto, he is likes the theory of Lucian Freud being connected to her disappearance, and Sky is
never heard
asking
of him.
For your thoughts on that one.
Never heard of him. Never even heard the name.
All right, I'll go to the next question then. Michelle wants to know: have the cops found and viewed any of his videos with young children in particular? I mean, he got busted snatching a kid or trying to do something to a kid in a park. I don't know whether he filmed that and that's what caused him to get arrested. I think that might have been the case. Is that what happened in that case, Chris? Is that what the evidence was?
Which one are we talking? Well, it depends what year we're talking. I'm looking at the timeline here. Now they find videos in 2014 at his apartment. He is sentenced to 15 months. Okay. He gets out, he is out of jail in 2015 when Inga is taken. And he has that car crash that puts him 50 miles away in Germany. He's 50 miles, I believe, south of the town, Wilhelmshof. I'm sorry if I'm slaughtering the name of that town. In 2016, they find more videos on flash drives and photos. This is the abandoned warehouse. There are full videos and pictures of young people with him, by him, and by other people. So the answer is yes. There is a lot of evidence of him with other young people.
So Lena has put a few comments in. Let's get your thoughts on these. So Lena has said, one problem, the Portuguese police didn't check his mobile connections in 2007. They didn't do a very good job. They didn't even search for that kind of criminal in that area. And she adds, I trust the German prosecutor who said he has enough evidence to be sure that Brueckner did do it.
I'm with her in a way. Yeah. I mean, they obviously botched the case. And look, I'm not bashing the Portuguese authorities. Let me say this. Look, even though he's a mile away, he had a little house. He had two properties in Portugal. He was going back and forth because one was a crime was committed in one and he committed a crime in the other one. Okay. He's obviously very close by. When he takes Maddie, right, and he walks her away, whether to his van that's waiting by, he had a van, right? Then he had an RV. He had different vehicles, right? I believe he had a van in Portugal. Even if he goes back to his property with her, how do they know to find him? They really don't, right? No, with his past criminal, if he wasn't being arrested and they didn't know who he was, the problem is the couple years before, he definitely should have been looked at. Because when I'm looking at the timeline, the woman you interviewed, the Irish woman, that's 3 years before Maddie. The older woman is 2 years before Maddie. Okay? So if she had said, oh, this is who he is, I don't know if she knew who he was then. You know? And then also, he is filmed with the teenager in 06, 05, 06. There's confusion of exactly when it was. And they have footage of that. Now, the question is, did they get that later? Which they probably, I think they did from Helga Bushing. So they may not have known to look. I'm not blaming the Portuguese authorities. Okay. It's like a needle in a haystack. It's like mind reading sometimes. The girl goes, disappears. Where do we look? Yeah, we're going to get the dogs out. Yeah, we're going to bang on everybody's doors. You know? So unless they knew who he was already, are they going to go bang on his door? And they probably would have found her. Or is he in the van, drives her 10 miles away? You know, he has the advantage at that point. It's almost not a needle in a haystack, but it's pretty close. So in real time is what I'm saying. Like in 2000, that night, that next day, that next week. I mean, this went on for like years, right? You know that. They were searching dams, reservoirs, rivers, the beach. To me, I'll be real honest, I think Maddie was put in the ocean. It's very hard It's not extremely hard to get rid of a body. My theory, my feel is that she was put in the ocean and that she's gone forever.
All right. So yeah, like you said, people get emotionally invested and tensions rise around in this case, but everyone's entitled to their opinions. We welcome all opinions. We've tried to look at a range of different opinions on this channel. So everyone's fine in the comments. Chris has got thick skin. And Lindsay is wondering about the confession Christian made to his cellmate. Are you aware of that story, Chris?
Was that published recently, or is that, when does that come out?
No, I'll read it to you then. So this came out last year, and it said a German detective confirmed reports that Christian has claimed he confessed to child abduction. At a hearing in a court on Wednesday, a former inmate in the same prison as Christian claimed he had told him about various R-wordings and convictions he had carried out. Codin was giving evidence in an unrelated case involving Brueckner, claimed he was told by the suspect that he had R-worded young girls near Hanover and had abducted a girl in Portugal. Codin alleged Christian had asked whether sniffer dogs could detect children's bones if they were hidden underground. Detective Nico Mueller, who works with Germany's BKA, the equivalent of the FBI, confirmed that Codin had made the allegations. Mr. Mueller said, "We had him named as a possible contact to Christian, so we were able to establish he was in prison, and so we approached him in this capacity. He was told what it was about. We said was a murder case involving McCann, and there was this suspect, and we wanted to talk to him about that. At first, he talked about Christian having asked him if he could sort him out with a fake passport and driving license, as he said it would be good for Brueckner if he goes back to Portugal. But later he reported that Christian had committed R-words in Hanover at this moment I hadn't heard of before." And we've also got Ad Brueckner, of course, is denying all of this. But yeah, so
well, and if we're saying he gave a confession here and then he denies it over here, again, it's the cat and mouse, right? This is what they do. So he's bored. These guys are in jail with nothing to do, right? They get off on this. They're going to tell a story. They're going to talk to each other. Brueckner's not dumb. He knows the guy's a criminal, right? So who's going to believe him? We just had this on another case. I won't say the name of the case. It just came out that the cellmate is coming forward. He told me this. He told me that. Well, we don't believe it. Of course you don't. That's the point. That's why he told me. And maybe I shouldn't even tell you. You know, there's a big, I'm glad these people are bringing it up. Your guests are smart. Okay. There's a big difference between a courtroom and everything else that goes on outside. Okay. And I could even say, I'll batch it as a courtroom and the police together. Let's call them the authorities. Okay. Everything outside of there is no holds barred. Are no rules. None. And that's what I mean is you got to be predatory as an investigator, a PI. If you're a family member and you're angry and you're mad and you hire investigators or whistleblowers or people to investigate or off-duty cops or whatever it is, predatory. Someone like Christian Brueckner holds the secret and he knows you can't figure it out. So sometimes befriend